Shelf companies. Let's talk about shelf companies. What they are, how they are used, how they're gonna benefit you. The issue is you have a business, LLC or an INC, and you need funding, but you're a new business. Or maybe you just don't know how to exactly go after these fundings. Business lines of credit, business loans, business credit cards. You may have walked into problems and the banks are saying things like, your business needs to be 2 years old, and you're not 2 years old yet. So what are you gonna do? Rely solely on business credit cards? Are you gonna go out and find a different solution? Or are you just gonna say, forget it? So,
let's get at it.
So, you may have been following me on Instagram, and you may have heard me talk about shelf companies. And shelf companies are my way of skipping the line, skipping the age requirement line. Most banks require that if you're in business and you want loans and lines of credit, you need to be established for at least 24 months. For most LLCs and INCs, those new businesses, this is a major issue. So purchasing a shelf company will allow you to skip that line and give you access to funding. Before we get there, you need to understand there's some prerequisites that you need to have, and it concerns your personal credit. Personal credit is what you need to make sure that you can get business funding. You're not going to the major banks using only EINs or DUNS numbers or solely anything related to your business. You still need to personally guarantee these loans. So the prerequisites for funding is, 1, have 100% payment history. That means in the last 24 months, all of your payments were on time. 2, your utilization should be under 20%. That means if you have a $1,000 credit card, you shouldn't be having more than $200 posted on that credit card at the time of funding. 3, late payments. You don't want to have any late payments in the last 24 months. If you have late payments outside of the last 24 months, that's fine. Your fundability is still high because the banks are gonna look back the last 24 months, all right? 4, inquiries. You need to keep your inquiries low. Keep your inquiries low. That means 3 or less per bureau. And to add to that, I don't wanna see you have any inquiries in the last 6 months. The last 6 to 12 months, you should be inquiry free. If you need help fixing those, you know what to do. 5, derogatory marks. We do not need any derogatory marks on your credit report. That's collections, charge-offs, bankruptcies, repos. Be derogatory free. If you're not derogatory free, don't even waste your time. You want to go out and get credit repaired before you start your funding process. 6, you want to have at least a 680 credit score. If you follow all the steps from above, then you should have a 680 credit score or more, right? I like a 720 plus, but minimally 680 will get you in the door. Also need to have at least 2 revolving credit cards. I've done funding with 1, but I recommend you have at least 2 revolving credit cards aged out from anywhere from 1 to 2 years. These are the prerequisites that you need before you even consider going for funding. Congratulations. You've just checked off everything that you needed before you went out and got funding, all right? Now, what is funding? Business funding is the process of getting you credit lines. Credit lines include business credit cards, business loans, and business lines of credit. Now, when it comes to business credit cards, we like to go after 0% interest credit cards that we can utilize for our investments. Now, those credit cards do not require you to be in business for 24 months. So a brand new LLC, INC can go after business credit cards. But now when you start venturing off into loans and lines of credit, that's when the bank's underwriting requirements become a little more strict. They need to see you in business for at least 24 months. Now, for a new company, that's where the issues lie. So, in order to skip the line and get to that 24-month mark, you need to be eligible with age. That's when the shelf companies come into play. A shelf company is simply a business that has been started and then placed on a shelf for this exact moment that you need it. I always tell my clients, make sure that you have the prerequisites before you go after a shelf company. Otherwise, the age is not going to get you what you need for funding. You need the combination of both. So this is how you purchase a shelf company. I'm giving you my secret site, wyomingcompany.com. You can find you a shelf company on this website and learn more about what a shelf company is. While you're on the website, I like to go after a shelf company that's in my state, right? The state of where you reside is the best combination for going for a funding sequence. So that's your residence, mine is New Jersey, the shelf company in New Jersey, and the bank of my choice in New Jersey, all right? You can also go after a Wyoming company, a Delaware company, and so on, and do a foreign filing in your state. Now, all of that does is transfer the business and let the state that you reside in know that you're doing business in this new current state, okay? Now, do your due diligence before purchasing. And this will allow you to also tune out the naysayers that don't know anything about shelf companies and how they actually work. This is a fast forward tool. You have to be skilled and understand how it's used. It's not used to have tax returns. It's not used to have bank statements. It's used simply for aged corporations. That's what a shelf company is. It's an aged company. It's an aged corporation. So you skip the line for funding. You also will not fall into those obstacles with equipment leasing lenders. Equipment leasing lenders always ask you to be in business at least 6 months. For a new company, that's a major issue, especially if you're in trucking. So this type of company will let you skip the line and give you 6 months or more in age. Once you get that age and you match it with a good credit score, voila, funding galore. Thank me later. Let's get at it.